But seeing that that was the last time that I was playing it and why I was playing it at that time, it is wild to go back and look at some of these games because the amount of time that has passed since, kind of part of what we were saying prior, to think that these games are now getting that old.
It's crazy to think that when you look at those saves, that was 17-year-old you.
And more often than not, it really doesn't turn out that well. Again, I do think because of The Last of Us, where they had Neil Druckmann legit there, making sure that he wasn't a statistic like all the other ones are, they're going to need to have that level of focus in making the movie. And that's where I get worried because I don't really know who is the main person that's going to be driving Call of Duty. Call of Duty doesn't really have a guy that everybody knows is attached to the game or attached to the series who's really going to be the one putting this all together, saying, oh, yeah, this is more what the fans want, not what the fans want. I don't know how they're going to do on that front.
Welcome everyone to episode 271 of the COD Casuals. We're your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing all right. I'm on my vacation, but of course, get sick as the vacation starts. So I'm a little under the weather, but I've been slamming my classic Dayquil pills. So hopefully I'll be feeling better relatively soon. But I can't really complain. The days are pretty easy right now. The weather's not too bad. It's no
Mhm.
longer 70 degrees. It's like back to the normal. I don't know if you had that by you, where it was just like insanely hot for the past 3 days in a row, 3, 4 days.
Mhm.
So I'm relieved that it's a bit better right now.
Yeah, me too. I have a stuffy nose, which is not that bad. It's not that congested, but I wish I didn't have it.
Yeah, it's always when you have these small illnesses or small sicknesses that I realize that I take for granted what it is to just be completely normal, to breathe normally and
Yeah,
not be like not be winded going up like 2 flights of stairs, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I was gonna say we were before we were started recording, we were talking about just reminiscing feeling old and regarding like what Call of Duty is gonna look like 20, 30 years from now. I mean, God only knows. But I saw this morning that today is the 15th anniversary. Talk about feeling old of the 2011 PlayStation Network shutdown. You remember this, right?
I do.
Dude, I like this is one of those things that and I'm sure other people who are around our age have felt this before where there's so much that's happened in my life that I still I can't remember all of it, but then when I hear news about that, it like triggers this memory for me being like, "Oh my god, dude, I totally remember that being a thing." And it was like legit hell on earth. It was purgatory.
Yeah,
You couldn't
dude.
do anything. And I remember just thinking every day, I was like, "Dude, is this ever going to stop? Are they ever going to get this back? Like
Mhm.
is PlayStation screwed right now?" And to think that it was 15 years ago is wild.
I know that. I remember coming back from school. I remember the first day that happened, coming back from school, and I didn't. They had threads about this, like game forums and stuff. I didn't know what was happening, and the next day at school, everybody was talking about it, and people were finding out. Oh yeah, you know, PlayStation shut down, but that was like everything to us. We finish school, come back. You want to play? Can't. There's nothing.
Yeah, bro, all the online I mean, the whole online
Yeah.
servers were down, like, you could just I if I remember, it was you would go and click log in, and then it would just say that it's undergoing maintenance,
Hmm.
and that was it. You could go and play single player games, but, I mean, man, at the time, like, 2011, I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure I was playing World at War. I don't know if when did MW2 come out? I don't
2009.
Okay, so yeah, it
Yeah.
must have been that was the main game that we were playing, or maybe like Black Ops or something around then, kind of hopping around. Um, but
I think it was
it,
Black Ops. That was the COD that was out.
yeah, I think so. And just insane that this lasted. I saw the screenshot from the Wikipedia that was 24 days, three
Hmm.
weeks and 3 days is unbelievable. And I don't know if anything like that could happen again. I don't think anything like that has happened since then. Um, but it is still insane to think that it was just some group. Wasn't it like Lizard Squad or something? They were the like hacking group that
Yeah.
came in. and just I remember people would see like videos that were posted on YouTube and people would say that it's them trying to communicate with, like with Sony or like for demands. I mean, it was ridiculous, but
Yeah.
for that long for them to be down was unprecedented.
Yeah, and all of our worlds were ruined
Legit,
for a
bro.
whole month. I mean, I remember it was the 7th grade when that happened, and I remember when Black Ops 1 dropped, like, everybody was trying to grind out the game, and this was going on. Everybody that had Xbox was laughing at the people on PlayStation because they were like, "Oh, you can't level up," and everybody on PlayStation was stressed out because we couldn't prestige, and we are falling so far behind of all the Xbox players. And yeah, I remember I was playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood at the time, and I was like, "Well, I can't do anything else. I got this is the only single player game I have right now that like I'm playing." And I just played that until
Right.
online came back.
Yeah, and this was like I said, peak time where we were just playing multiplayer COD all the time. And I think a lot of people who were in the multiplayer realm just started being like, "Oh yeah, let me try the campaign to some of these Call of Duties, or let me
Yeah.
try some of the single player stuff for once." Because yeah, you couldn't do anything. Um, I'm trying to think what I ended up playing at that time because I've gone back relatively recently and looked at some of the PS3 games that I have, and when I go on there and I see some of the save files that I had, it's the same thing where it's crazy to think that on this day, whatever it was like last saved, was April 8th of 2014. I'm like, dude, you
Yeah.
know, like I went and I bought Batman Arkham Asylum,
Mhm.
and same thing. My save on there was from 2015.
Mhm.
Which just I was like, "Yeah, no shot I'm gonna load into that game right now. Let me just start fresh." But seeing that that was the last time that I was playing it and why I was playing it at that time, it is wild to go back and look at some of these games because, yeah, the amount of time that has passed since is crazy to think. I mean, this is just all kind of part of what we were saying prior, to think that these games are now getting that old.
Mhm. No, it's crazy to think that when you look at those saves, that was like 17-year-old you.
Yeah,
You were sitting on the couch and you hit save. Could you
right.
imagine if I'm sure at some point in the future when we're all like cyborgs or something, maybe not in our lifetime, but you click into that save and it like brings you straight back and you can look at yourself and you're actually there. That'd be so trippy.
Yeah, like that would send me because exactly what you're saying, I think that all the time. And I was even playing on PS5 was it was the SpongeBob game, and I just like felt I wanted to try it again. And I looked down there, I was like, "Oh yeah, I have the platinum to this game." And I looked when I did it, and then I just immediately remembered. I was like, "Dude, I remember exactly where I was, where I
Mhm.
got this." I'm like, "I'm at my mom's. I had it on my nightstand. I didn't even have a chair to be sitting in. I was sitting on the edge of my bed." Like there are certain memories as a gamer throughout time that you definitely remember. There, whether it's games or it's just moments in games that you remember. For example, I remember playing that MW2 mission, cliffhanger. That's I
Mhm.
think it's the second or third mission that you do with Soap when he's like now Captain McTavish.
Mhm.
I'll always remember that mission because you don't see who he is until you just like eventually hover over him and it gives him his name. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Holy shit." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Dude, it's him." I was like, "Bro, he talks now." Like, it's just some core memory of gaming that I'll always remember where I was, what the weather was like that day, way back in the day. And again, yeah, I was like, what, 13, 14 years
Mhm.
old?
Yeah. And we thought the world was never gonna like it was always gonna stay like that
Yeah.
15 years later. We're here.
Yeah. Like that's the trip, is to think that it's all that time later. I'm like, bro, I never could have imagined where I'd be.
Yeah.
And now to think that here I am and like we're both experiencing Black Ops 7 at this stage of the game. But
Mhm.
dude, imagine 15, 20 years from now what COD is going to be out and like what we're gonna look like, what we're gonna be doing at that point. I
Mhm.
don't know if other people feel this or think this, but I definitely
Nah,
have started to feel more like this. But like, dude, like, will Modern Warfare ever die? Like, like
uh,
what is
I mean,
next?
speaking of, we'll get into that for sure, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a trip, like, in 10 yeah, 15 years from now, if COD's still alive, we're still playing, but I could have a kid. I'm playing COD with my kid, giving them no freebies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Straight 1v1s. They're getting cooked. They gotta learn. No skill
Right,
based.
right, right.
But yeah, I would have never thought, oh yeah, we're on Black Ops 7 now.
Mhm.
And we're watching the CDL and these pros have all retired and these random names have like come into the league. It it's insane to think about.
And the fact that we have a COD movie coming out too, in
Mhm.
like when they say it's gonna be coming out now, 2028, I believe,
I think that's,
is
like, supposed to be the release date.
yeah. Like already at this stage, when I hear that, I'm thinking that that's so far away. I'm just like, oh, dude, like 2028, whatever. But it's gonna be here soon. And
Mhm.
like we will be 30 at that point.
Yeah, yeah. That's so weird.
And we're gonna be in the IMAX with the popcorn watching the Call of Duty movie. I mean, what do you think about this? Like we talked about this
Yeah.
quite a while ago when they had the rumors of it, but now that it's official and they have
Mhm.
some day, which I'm sure it'll get moved around. But the fact that it's official, what do you think about this?
I mean, like, I think if you just take Call of Duty away from it, right? Like, it's just another war movie. Um, I think the fact that we know the storyline, it really depends what storyline they're trying to follow. Or maybe if they go down the route of they don't follow a storyline at all of any of the video games, which to be honest, I think they should go down that route and just call it a Call of Duty movie because I think any movie or TV series based off of a video game, you get the casual fans, and when I say casual, the fans that have never played the video game, they've just heard of the game and they, want to go and see the movie or TV show. And that's the whole goal of like making these shows to get more eyes on it, obviously. But then you get like the fans of the actual game and gamers, we're all passionate about, these games. You watch the movie or show, and I swear a lot of gamers are thinking this is not like the game at all. This is trash. Like personally, I don't think you should think like that because it's a different type of media. Obviously, the movie isn't going to be the same as a game or TV show. I think The Last of Us did a really good job. That's like a really big TV series. They did a great job with season one, but then people got really upset about season two of The Last of Us because XYZ. And to me, I'm like, just enjoy it. I enjoyed the game, loved the game. Watch a TV series. I enjoyed the TV series. I don't think it needs to be completely you know true between like everything needs to be the same between game and movie. They're so if they went down the route of making Call of Duty movie not based off of any actual Call of Duty, I'd be fine with that. It's just another war movie.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the better move too, because that would end up satisfying hopefully both sides. Whereas if you have characters that have used from previous games. In my opinion, I remember we talked about this last episode where, if you're going to be making Modern Warfare 4 and you're going to have a lot of the same characters, it just kind of gets a little tired and you're not really that interested in it. Or what they could do is completely butcher the characters in the storyline and kind of ruin that reputation around them. Um, I think if they just went and made new characters and had obviously with that a new storyline, that would end up pleasing both sides more than likely because you're not offending or stepping on the past of Call of Duty. Um, and it also like for the people who don't have any ties to the games, they can still enjoy the movie just for what it is, which is a war movie. My thing is with the movie though, I don't really know what the end goal is with it. Like, are they trying to use this to bring people in to playing the game that don't already know about it? Or is it just like a side excursion thing that they're trying to do with it and see that, yeah, it could be successful on other media platforms? I don't know if I buy the fact that when this movie comes out, there's gonna be people who have never played Call of Duty, but now all of a sudden see this movie and think, "Hey, I wanna go play the game," you know? Especially if
Mhm.
they ended up using new characters and a new story. I just don't really know if that's gonna translate.
I mean, I think all that stuff it ends up translating, just not to the extent that most people think. But I'm sure why they're doing this is probably a mix of both, right? I mean, there's a lot of young kids that they don't even play Call of Duty anymore. They don't even know what Call of Duty is. So if they see like, I don't know, Mark Wahlberg as, some character or whatever, some soldier, um, maybe they'll be interested and want to play the game. But also too, they could time it with Call of Duty 2028. I mean, if they're thinking this far, it's kind of insane, but and I hope they're not. But they release a movie, and the movie is actually the 2028 game with
Mm,
those characters.
yeah.
Um, I hope it's not like that. I think the best thing that they can do is, like you said, completely new characters, and this is a completely different form of media for them. I if you and I are gonna watch this, and I don't care that Price isn't in it, Ghost, so it doesn't matter to me. To me, this is a movie, some other movie. Um, but if they don't do that, which I don't think they're going to do that, I think they're going to introduce the characters like Ghost, Price, Soap. Um, please don't have it be based off of one of the games. Like, I think it should be these guys are already developed and they go in and complete some random mission that's not in any of these games. That I'd be okay with because, you know, like you said, if they have those characters and they do something wrong and it's not similar to the game, they're gonna offend so many fans because of that. Won't
Yeah.
offend us because we whatever, but I think it's best for them to just stick away, like or stay away from the games.
Yeah, I mean, going against my own point of having new characters, which again I still think would be the move, they're gonna have to use those characters. You know, if they're gonna try to bring people in and have anybody say, like, okay, well, what's the difference between this movie and any other war movie? It's more than likely going to be those mainstay characters that you always have in Call of Duty. And yeah, I agree. I would rather it be something entirely new. I don't want them to be remaking some story from a previous Call of Duty. A, because we've already played it, and B, most of those don't even make any sense. Like especially the new ones that people have played. They just timeline wise, they don't relate to anything that's going on from the previous ones. But yeah, I would unfortunately imagine that their plan, which I agree is concerning, they're probably going to bundle it with the COD of that year. Um, which to me I think is crazy because one, why the hell are we thinking that many years ahead in Call of Duty? And to what we've said that I don't really want to see them anymore. This is just going to be furthermore like I think a reason why they need to move away from it because now they've had these characters, through so many different games and, again, uh Soap is dead in the Modern Warfare series. So what? Is he not going to be in this game? Because that would be kind of a letdown if he wasn't. But if he's in the game, makes no sense.
Mhm.
And then what? They're going to go and try to finesse him some way into the multiplayer of this game, whatever it may be. I think it just gets really messy. And part of the problem that Call of Duty has had over the past couple of years is having a clear vision as to what it's trying to be. And I think if you end up going that route of reusing old characters and putting it into a movie that I'm sure is going to cost mega millions, um, I can just only imagine this kind of being like an okay movie. I don't think it's gonna suck, but
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be all right. Will it really please anybody on either side? I really don't. I don't see it being that kind of movie, you know? If
Yeah,
the
yeah.
goal of this is to save COD, you know, or bring it into like
Yeah,
a new era, you know, it's like we're
yeah.
going global with COD.
I don't think this is gonna save COD. I don't think that's on their mind. I think this is more of a like a side quest for them. It's,
Right,
"Oh, this is another." Like, I mean, you and I are gonna watch it. This is another revenue stream for them, you know? Get some big name actors into Call of Duty movie. I think new storyline, new characters. I don't think Call of Duty fans, or at least you and I, like, we won't care. We're not gonna look at the video game and then look at the movie and want carbon copies of it. I mean, I think a good example is Uncharted. The Uncharted movie came out. I thought that was a pretty good movie. Like, it wasn't. It was your classic treasure hunter movie, and I'd give it like a six, seven. Like, it was good. I'm not the biggest movie critic. Would I rewatch it again? I mean, if it was in front of me, probably. But I'm not gonna go pay money again and rewatch it. But in that movie, you got Nathan Drake, you got Sully, and they had key points in the movie from every game. You know, they kind of just combined all of it together. And
right.
I was fine with that. But Uncharted fans like hated it. They're like they're not representing the game. This isn't what happened. That's not the point, in my opinion. It's not. At the end of the day, they're trying to cash out. They're trying to make some money.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the
yeah,
same way.
in Call of Duty, it's not gonna save COD. It's gonna be an okay movie. At best, I feel like most of these like one-off war movies, again, 6, 7 out of 10. That's really it. As long as it's not
Yeah.
like a 1 or 2 where it's just horrible acting, then whatever, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, and there's no way that it's going to be that low because of the money that they're gonna pour into it, you know? Um, yeah, I feel in general the game to movie or movie to game thing really just never works out as good as anyone thinks it's going to. You know, you have Uncharted, Last of Us is a rare one where it worked out pretty well. I think of Ratchet and Clank as well was kind of a dud. And then I want to say it's either Silent Hill or Resident Evil did the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know,
Resident Evil.
yeah, it's just it's kind of an odd thing to be trying to do. And more often than not, it really doesn't turn out that well. Again, I do think because of The Last of Us, like where they had Neil Druckmann legit there, making sure that he wasn't a statistic like all the
Mhm.
other ones are. They're going to need to have that level of focus in making the movie, and that's where I get worried because I don't really know who is the main person that's going to be driving Call of Duty. You know, Call of Duty doesn't really have a guy that everybody knows is attached to the game or attached to the series. Um, you know, as opposed to Naughty Dog, where when they did that, everybody felt relieved knowing that Neil Druckmann was going to be in charge of it. That's my worry with Call of Duty is when they make this movie, who's really going to be the one putting this all together, saying like, "Oh yeah, this is more what the fans want, not what the fans want." Um, I don't know how they're going to do on that front.
Yeah, video games and movies are just so different. I think I watched a clip. It wasn't a documentary, but it was an interview with Neil Druckmann when they're doing The Last of Us, and he was saying that in movies or TV shows, like you have the opportunity to show more than a video game. A
Mhm.
video game's more interactive, and you can do things in video games that you can't in movies. But because they were recording a TV show, he wanted to really portray specific scenes that you couldn't really feel emotion when you're playing the game. Um, what would be hilarious is if this Call of Duty movie, let's say it's based off the MW3 campaign, the 2023. Watch that movie, like be better than the actual single player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, Soap died, but the way that they portrayed the whole movie, it was good. If you take everything away, like of not knowing the story. You know what I mean? Like that would be crazy. That this movie is better than the actual story.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind that really quick. I wouldn't mind if it was like that for that game. If it ends up that the game that it comes out with has a like, the movie has a better story than the actual campaign to the game, that's gonna be a sad bit too.
Yeah, yeah, it would be. Yeah, like all these years, right? This movie comes out, and I'm sure they're gonna have someone from Call of Duty overlook the uh the filming of the movie. But it's just sad to think that, oh yeah, this movie portrayed the single player story better. I mean, are we serious?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, well, and that it wouldn't honestly surprise me too much because of the direction and especially what we got from Black Ops 7, which who knows if that's gonna be the standard or that's just a one-off rare one, like when Black Ops 4 had no campaign, that just will go down as a very odd year where that happened. I hope it's the same with this COD where the campaign was just AI slop to another level, and we don't get that with, whatever we're gonna have MW4 and then going into the COD for 2028 as well. Um, I hope there's a return back to these stories because I mean, man, I've always loved COD campaigns. COD campaigns to me are underrated. The vast majority of them I think are solid enough. And it's just like what we're saying. Most like average, it's like an average war movie, minus World of
Mhm,
War. World of War is amazing. But they're like, action thrill, jam packed with a bunch of stuff, and they get the job done. Um, and I think that's been missing from Call of Duty. And maybe this movie is trying to, it could potentially fill that void for people, who want a good Call of Duty story, but just haven't really been given one in the campaigns as of late.
mhm.
Um, you know, who knows? But I do hope this story that they end up making, I hope it's good. I don't wish anything bad on it because at the end of the day, like I if it does well, then Call of Duty does well, and
Mhm.
COD needs a lot of doing well. It
Yeah,
doesn't need to
yeah,
go backwards any further than it already has.
yeah, exactly. And Call of Duty needs all the help that it can get, like I said. And you know, just the timing of this movie coming out is really interesting because what if yeah, everybody's saying, "Oh, all these campaigns are just movies." Well, Call of Duty's like, "Here you go. Here's an actual movie." Imagine they don't give us a single player that year,
Right.
which I mean, again, who knows? That could happen. If it does happen, give us a banging multiplayer. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, they could go a whole bunch of different routes with it, if they don't give us, a campaign that year and they focus on the multiplayer, that'd be great, and they just have the movie as, like, it's, so-so, campaign, but,
Just more
yeah, I
of a
mean, man.
troll.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, if they're gonna be trying to bring in people, it's gonna be the multiplayer that has to be good, you
Hmm.
know? Like, just off rip, it needs to be good, and then the maintenance of it, because I've seen this with Call of Duty, unfortunately, with Ranked, and then I've seen this too with, like, other FPS games or other just shooters in general, with Arc Raiders in particular, because that's been on the timeline. Everyone's talking about how this game has just completely dropped off. Justin, you and I called this. We knew this was gonna happen. I mean, it's a tale as old as time.
It's
But
inevitable.
but yeah, but it's dropped off. They said about 70%. I'm sure that's maybe, within relatively accuracy of it. Um, the player base has just dropped off because of the hackers. And we know all about this from Call of Duty. And I'm seeing too people saying regarding the new season of Ranked that this is a struggle for them. Like we're talking the PC people. This isn't on our end. But this is once again a problem. And you can't have and the big 2-6, Justin, you can't have this happen to your game. It is legit the death of any game. If hackers take it over, your game is toast, and there's, like, no bringing it back.
Yeah, and people are just getting so bored of games now. They're moving on so quick. I mean, everybody was playing Arc Raiders a couple months ago. Everyone has just dropped off now. I mean, we can go through the list of games. I mean, we've seen. and played a lot of these games that rose up. Oh yeah, and then they just die off after like a month or two, and everyone's on to the next one. Like I don't know what the next game is that everybody's gonna go to, but I'm sure there's gonna be one, and maybe it'll stick. But everyone's trying to find that Fortnite. The Fortnite is the most recent game that I can think of, at least, that literally got so big. I mean, bigger than the majority of these games, but it's still alive now. There's a community there. And I'm not saying like Arc Raiders still has a community, but I'm talking about a game like Fortnite, a Call of Duty, a Halo, a Gears of War, um, these big name games. But yeah, that they eventually die and there's no community. I mean, remember what a couple years ago we were talking about X Defiant. Everybody was saying all the pros are moving to this. It just dead. Doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. And Marvel Rivals, same kind of thing. Marvel Rivals, everybody was on the hype train of it. And again, it's just these games, there's so many of them that, the peaks are insane and then the lows are down in the dumps. I mean, I don't really know what it is. I wonder if the average gamer now and their attention span or just in general their ability to lock in on a game is less, or it's the games themselves just are not as good as they used to be. I don't really know what it comes down to, and it's hard to really say because back in the day when we were playing Call of Duty, there really wasn't any rivalries. It was basically if you wanted to play an FPS, you were playing Call of Duty. I mean, there was a Battlefield that was going around back in the day, but it was nothing like Call of Duty was. And then if you were on Xbox, you were playing Halo, and that was it, you know? And when we were younger, I mean, PC gaming, like we didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about
Mhm.
CS or, I didn't know what that was. But I feel back then, every year people stuck with the games and you just played them and they were good. But now, because there's so many other options out there, and they come up with maybe a good idea, people get invested into it. And then it's like these teams, when they get all this attention, they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, wow, our game is huge. Like, we're going to be, we have the most concurrent players right now on Twitch, or we're just hitting peak numbers we've never had before. And then they don't do anything with it. Or when they get to that moment and they really need to kind of roll these people over into future seasons or whatever system that they're going to be doing, they let something slip and then the game just completely dies, and then another dev comes up with like a slightly varied idea and takes all their people, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. And I've noticed this has been a recent thing within probably the past 5-6 years of gaming. I mean, this is
Yeah.
just all these people that come along to try to beat Call of Duty, they all fall to the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think gaming has just evolved. There's so many options now. And I mean, look, having a lot of options is good, but at the same time, it's kind of bad because these developers, if they make a game that's great, like you said, and everybody's playing it, they make one mistake. And as soon as that mistake happens and the player base drops, it's going to be a mass exodus of players that just leave at one time. You
Mhm.
can't screw up. They're on to the next game, and you're probably not going to recover and recoup all those players back. Um, which is it's just wild. I think when we were growing up, we had options, but we didn't have so many options. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's not like we were forced to play these games, but these games were good. And there weren't a lot of other games out there. It's kind of like people talk about the dating apps, how it messes with your mental because you think you have so many options, but realistically you don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just an unlimited amount of people. You can just keep swiping, swiping, swiping. But it's not, you're just on to the next thing. You're not really thinking about it. And gaming's just the same way. I don't know. There are good games that come out, but then you play them and then people just move on right away. I don't know.
Oh, dude, I go on the PlayStation Store and the amount of games that are on there, whether it's a sale or deals or just, like, new games that are coming in, I'm like, "What are these games?" I have no
Yeah.
idea, you know? Like, and it's not like a whole bunch of, like, indie games. It's also, double A or some triple A games that come out, and I'm just thinking, "Damn, there's so much," and, of course, all of them, $70, $50, $70, whatever, and the fact that you could just go on and buy these and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go download and play it in about an hour," instead of having to drive and waste gas money in
Mhm.
this economy, you know, and have to actually think, "Okay, I'm gonna walk out with this game, like, I'm screwed if I don't like this."
Mhm.
Uh I think it's led to games being, in my opinion, now more than ever, games are very disposable. People get them
Mhm.
and they just download them on their console, and within an hour they can play them. They get into it, and then after that first hour or two, if you're kind of thinking, game's all right," you probably will never be playing that game
Mhm.
consistently. You have to be playing a game, in my opinion, now, and within the first hour or two, you're like, you know, you don't wanna put it down. You're gonna keep
Yeah.
playing, If you're thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna call it after that," that game's cooked, and they just took
Yeah.
your $70, and a lot of games are
Yeah.
really good in that first hour or 2 to try to get
Mhm.
you in, and then after that,
Dude,
they throw you away.
it's like clickbait.
Yeah,
Because, well, when you just mentioned that, I thought about, man, back in the day, you could go buy a game, right? You have to go buy the physical disc, go download it, takes like a century. Then you load in the game. If you don't like that game, you could go return it.
yeah,
That doesn't happen anymore.
no.
I just realized that. Like you just buy the game and, well, shit,
So,
I don't like it. It
I'll tell you a quick excursion from what we're talking about. This happened to me yesterday, okay? I went and bought I had Uncharted 3. I've been
Mhm,
playing it on my PS3, load it up, great, no problem. And every time I load into the game, when I get to like the loading, there's the ring in the bottom right, and
mhm.
it gets like to a certain point and it stops. And then my whole PlayStation just shits the bed. And I have to like unplug it and re-download or like rebuild the system software, whatever. So I go to this game shop and I buy Uncharted 3 again. I buy it for like $5 and I go and I play it, and it's just loading and loading and loading and loading, and it never goes anywhere. I left it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, this game's fucked. And I felt so good being like, you know what? I'm gonna drive back there and I'm gonna give it to those people. And
Yeah,
I told him, I was like, yeah, I want to return this game. I was like, it doesn't work. You can't get past the loading screen. And the guy went and plugged it into his
plugged it
PlayStation.
in, yeah.
He's just like, damn, you're right.
Yeah,
It's like, because I'll
yeah,
give you store credit towards. I was like, throw it on my account, bro. But I was like, dude, that's like a 2017 Mike would
dude,
have done
yeah.
that. I'm like, you're already
Yeah.
at 28. I'm like, Uncharted 3 doesn't work, bro.
Yeah, I remember, like, doing that for, I can't remember what game, but, yeah, going back to the GameStop and they have, like, the TV up there. They're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, yeah, let me test it," and they they put it into the console, and they're just loading, and you're looking up at the
yeah,
TV just waiting. Yeah, it's so different now. It's like they just take your money. They're like, "Oh, sorry." You
yeah.
can't, can't get a refund for it.
I mean, I think about that with Arc Raiders. I bought
Yeah,
it online
yeah.
and, played it for maybe like I think a total of 5 hours or so. I mean, I got burned on that game,
Mhm.
but they don't care. Like I can't return that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, there's just so many options now, and I mean, might be biased because you and I have similar taste in games, but I swear back in the day, I mean, you guys let us know too with your friend group, but we knew the games that we would play. Like, I would mention a game to you, and you've heard of it. Nowadays, I hear about this game, and I'll tell you about it. I'll say there's like a 90% chance you have no idea what the game is.
Mhm.
'Cause it's just so random, you know?
Right.
And vice versa. There are just so many games out now. I mean, this is going back, but when I bought Subnautica, because I
Yep.
saw it on YouTube, other people playing it, and finally came to PlayStation. I told you about this, and you've never heard of it. And this was, I would say around this time was probably like the beginning of it, when there were so many other games coming to PlayStation that were on PC, and the game was great. I mean, that's one of the great indie games, and I hope
Yeah.
they make a Subnautica 3. But yeah, now there's so many options that I could be playing a game and I'll tell you, "Oh yeah, go play this game." You have no idea what it is, and
Right.
vice versa.
Yeah, I think for games now to be really successful is obviously, the support from the developers, like if it's going to be an online game, but also too bringing something to the table that is wholly unique, you know. I This game, have you heard of it recently? I just had to look it up because I've seen so much on it, is this Mouse PI for hire.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This game has blown up because I mean they've got Troy Baker, the
Yeah.
goat of voice actors in there doing it. And it's like, this film noir style, but it's all with mouses and it's like inside
Yeah.
jokes because they're all talking about cheese and everything.
Yeah.
But it's got like a serious element to it, but like it's 1930s Disney kind of style, It's it's the closest to that game Cuphead, but it's so far away from that game still regarding
Mhm.
how it plays and what you do in it. But that game is so successful because again, it is not like any other game out there,
Mhm.
And you could tell that they've put in a ton of effort into this game and it's just what it is. I
Mhm.
don't believe I could be, ill-educated on it, but I don't think there's any multiplayer to it. I think it's just a single player game. Um and that's like a real throwback, just where the game comes out and is like, "Hey, we're not doing anything crazy with it. This is just the game. This is our idea. Yeah, we brought in good people. Like, enjoy it." And everybody likes that. And I think people are like, as consumers, looking for games like that because it
Mhm.
brings back to what, when I go in any of those game shops and you see the PS2, PS3 games that are just, they're all bangers because it was what it was, you know? And now when you find games that are $70, you don't really know what you're getting. You're getting like,
Mhm.
60% of the game, and then the other 40% is to be determined, as the
Mhm.
months and years go on.
Man, we really did grow up in the best era of gaming.
I think so,
The
dude.
physical discs, and I mean, I don't get me wrong, the downloads are really nice. I hate copying, but
Yeah.
we people are trying to go back to that now. What we had back in the day, but it can't be replaced. It's so hard. I mean, I really do think the next game that comes out that's going to be a generational game and will have the same effect on everyone again, like Fortnite did, is GTA 6.
Yeah.
And if that game doesn't have that feeling, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong in the world.
I know what you mean.
Maybe we're just actually getting older and something's changing inside of us. But I really think GTA 6 is right now, at least, the next game that everybody's going to play. It's going to bring back everyone and it's going to change the next generation of gamers.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that game, I mean, GTA 6 is going to be the most anticipated game launch of all time, and there's just no question about it. And I think everybody who has gamed or currently does is going to be mind blown by it and just, feeling that generational hype around it. Um, and that's what people are always after with games, like I'll stop playing COD when the COD that comes out, I just feel no excitement for it, when I go and play it. Like every time Call of Duty comes out, still that day one when I play it, I'm excited about it because
Mhm.
I know that for me, I'm just thinking like, damn, this is another year of me playing COD. Like I still
Mhm.
got it, and like
Yeah.
I'm still doing it. And I like seeing how the game's changed. Um, but when it comes to something like Grand Theft Auto, I think about when GTA 5 came out, bro, we were in high school. Like we were
Mhm.
juniors in high school. And I remember same thing, like core memory. I remember playing that game sitting on my floor in my living room when it came out. And to think now, I mean, how many years is that? Like when was I forget now when GTA 5 came out. Like 2013? Is that when it was? Wait,
Yeah, I
actually
think so.
I gotta look this up. I'm pretty sure it was 2013. Yeah. To think that we're 13 years later, I'm hoping for the same hit of dopamine when I buy that game
Yeah.
and I sit down, I wanna be like, "Oh my god, like, this is
Mhm.
it," you know? And everybody wants that with a game, you know? And I think that's why so many people game jump. People are looking for that feeling of excitement for the game, but then they're always disappointed, you know? Like,
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, they go and play a game, think it's gonna be great, and then it's like they get hit with ads in the game, and they're like, "Dude, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?" Like, just totally pulled me out of the game.
Mhm.
You know, you're immediately disconnected because you're thinking that they're just trying to sell you on stuff, which is how it is, you know, and when the game isn't even that good.
Yeah, I wanna play a game again where, like, I'm playing through it and I'm about to beat it. I beat it, and I'm thinking, "I don't want this to end."
Right.
The experience is over now, and it's been a while since, you know I mean, usually it's single player games where, I just fall in love with the story, but, yeah, gaming's just it's different now, dude. I mean, if GTA 6 comes out and it doesn't have that same feeling, something's wrong in
Yeah.
the gaming universe. That something has to be wrong because GTA 5, I remember exactly, when the game came out, literally next day after school, I went to Walmart with my uncle, bought the game, came back, thought I was gonna be able to play it, and then I loaded in, finished like downloading and copying it, played it at night, um, loaded into it, and I was just sitting on the ground, just playing it on the flat screen.
Yeah, and to think that that was a generational moment back then, you know, um, like to think that we more than likely will experience that again is all the more reason why everyone's so excited for it, you know.
Mhm,
Um, and I mean, I hope that every game, like, I mean, every game should strive, in my opinion, for that feeling. You know,
mhm,
they should they should feel the weight of how important their game is for the masses. You know, I can only imagine how Rockstar feels knowing that that game is going to be coming out. It's the same thing with Naughty Dog with that game Intergalactic. I mean, there's a
mhm,
lot of hype around that game and pressure because of, how they've I mean, the reputation that they've built over, the past couple of decades of making games. They've just been bangers constantly.
mhm.
And I hope all the developers in Call of Duty feel that too. I mean, I want them to because you want those games to deliver on that level and it's it's disappointing when they don't sometimes. I saw on the flank, I think it was Kenny who had mentioned it, talking about how this game in general, he's like, "Oh, something that like upsets me is like the movement really isn't utilized as much in this game." Like a lot of these maps just don't really use the omni movement. Like they talk about it as a big thing, but they don't really use it that much on the maps. It's not really necessary to be like wall jumping and doing all this stuff. And I mean, I get where he's coming from, and I can agree with him, but linking it to what we're saying here, it's like when there's games that have a big thing that you should be hyped about, you want that to be all about the game, you know? Like in
Mhm,
GTA 5 where you could play as 3 characters, that was everything. Like you had to do that, you
mhm.
know? It would be kind of lame if they hyped up the fact you play as 3 characters, but 2 of them could be trash that you wouldn't want to play as at all. You'd be like, "Well, dude, the whole thing you sold me on in this game, you don't even really it's not even that big of a deal."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Like I think COD, whatever they end up moving towards in the next couple of things, they need to have like a huge selling point and have that be a big part of the game that people are interested in, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, with GTA 6 coming out, right, the MW4 is the next COD. It's supposed to come out this year, and it's gonna come quick. When you guys listen to this, it's the last week of April. We're going into May
It's
at this
crazy.
point, which is yeah, it's crazy. We're gonna get the new COD in November, I believe, and GTA 6 is supposed to come out around the same time. So, Modern Warfare 4 supposedly is taking place like in Korea. So I don't know what they're gonna do there, but I know we say it every year. I think we've been saying it since Vanguard, to be honest, but this is a very important year for COD. But I feel like coming off of a year where it is the lowest amount of sales of ever in Call of Duty history, that says something.
Yeah.
And developers, and I'm sure Activision, they're looking at that bottom line. They're like, okay, something has to happen now because we've got their attention because sales are so low. And I hope that puts the fear in them and it changes the game. But who knows, right? I mean, I don't know at this point. Oh, actually, I can tell them what I want in a Call of Duty. Are they going to do it? I have no idea. Um, but also, too, I just think gaming has changed so much where at the end of the day, they're not going to make everyone happy. You know, I mean, do I like Black Ops 7? Yeah, I enjoy Black Ops 7 a lot. I love the movement. I like the maps. Um, but people hate it. I mean, comments from the last episode, people were saying that every Modern Warfare game that has come out recently have been great. And this person said that you and I are the reason why COD is so bad now because we like the Black Ops series. I'm like, that's insane because I'll give the best Modern Warfare game was MW3 that came out by far.
Yeah.
Um, and I do think that game would have been a lot better if it wasn't MW2 maps. If that game had its own maps, I think we would have enjoyed it way more. Like the gunplay, the movement, and everything. Um, but back in the day, everyone was excited for every COD, whether it was Infinity Ward or Treyarch or Sledgehammer. You know, we just knew another COD was going to come out. Now it's people are just they hate Treyarch. The
Yeah.
casuals do, at least.
Yeah, and I don't understand really why that all of a sudden happened, where I mean both these studios, they had their divisive moments with games, and with, the player base. Like, obviously, people would probably point to Black Ops 4 for Treyarch, because I know you've seen that before, and probably a lot of others have, where most people, if they're going to trash a game from Treyarch, that's the one that they trash because,
Mhm.
again, it has no campaign. It's like, the multiplayer is way different. And yeah, some people get divided on that, but it all just comes down to the players that the player base, or how you like to play and experience the game. Where I feel back in the day, for the most part, they all had the same, same kind of elements relatively, but because of the shifts in like the tone in the like whether it was the setting that it was going to be in, or if it was in the campaign, like what they were actually trying to, you know, tell you in a story. I feel like all those games you kind of got a break from year to year. It was like a quick refresh. Whereas now all these games seem to be relatively connected.
Yeah, your mic is.
My mic just got muted for a second, but
Yeah.
like I was saying, all the games now, they seem to be just kind of following one another, and people get burnt out from that. At least that's how I feel. When you went from MW2 to MW3, and then same thing with Black Ops 6, and you go to Black Ops 7, they're all really the same kind of game.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could obviously point to some changes that they make, like, we could easily do that. But when you really boil it down, a lot of those games are the same. And I think that's why you've had so many people get just generally annoyed with Call of Duty, because it's not just, Treyarch or Infinity Ward, it's all of them. Um, and I think that that's the real problem. But I still do not understand how people could support MW 2019. I'll still die on that hill. You know,
Yeah.
you
I
could make cases
yeah.
for all of them, but I don't like to that comment. I don't think of any of them as like, you know, you're the problem with Call of Duty. I think the problem is there's just no consistency as to like what the vision is for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going back to the original model of switching off developers. I have no idea why they decided to do back-to-back games with starting with MW2 again, which I will point out a Call of Duty that had no mini map in the
Yeah,
beginning, and people are saying the MW series is fantastic, and
shut your mouth.
you know And that's just insane to me. The fact that you can say a COD with no mini map is better than Black Ops 7. Okay. Vanguard had a fucking compass. Dude, like we're calling him out. He's north.
He's northeast 120.
Yeah, like it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, whether you like Black Ops 7 or not, I think we all want COD to just be better. Because it's been a while since I think every fan has agreed that this COD is actually, good. All
Yeah.
of us. And, you know, we're COD super fans. I think, yeah, we're biased towards Treyarch because Treyarch does a good job. Um, and Black Ops 7 is a fantastic game, even though you look at sales and they're not. But competitive players love Black Ops 7. I think a good amount of casual players like Black Ops 7 too, but people just really like that Modern Warfare like engine,
Hmm.
which I can get behind too. I like the hit reg on that too, but I'm not gonna say those CODs felt like COD.
Yeah, and again, all of these games, like we've said in our reviews, and we've said just when talking about the games, is there's so many of them that they're so close. You know, they
Mhm,
do a lot of things right, but then there's a couple of things, and sometimes you could argue whether they're big or small that they just miss the mark on, and that kind of ruins the game. I'm sure, like you said, with MW3, I mean, that game could be a great game, or it could be even better if it was just all original maps. And there's things for sure you could say about Black Ops 7 that could probably make that game even better. I would say, and I'm sure you would too, that this is the closest game in years that we've had where they pretty much hit on everything that you want to be hit on. Um, but to say that any other game that comes out from Treyarch or from Infinity Ward, yeah, they could put all the pieces together on it, but it's just like trying to understand or convey to them exactly what needs to be done for the vast majority of people to be happy. Because I think a lot of us have the same desires from each game, but some people maybe are a bit louder on one side of the fence compared to others, and then that's where maybe you get these developers who are like, oh yeah, we're going to go full in on this, and one
mhm.
side maybe is happy, but then the other side isn't.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see what happens with MW4, right? I mean, I do think that it will be a big year again. Clip it, but
It's it's
coming
gonna be a
coming off
hard
a
year.
yeah, coming off of a year with the lowest sales, I mean, they have to beat that. I mean, I guess they're starting at the bottom, right? I mean,
Yeah, right.
but uh, but what's crazy to us is that they're starting at the bottom in terms of sales, but in the game overall, to you and I, they're Treyarch's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Please, like, do exactly what Treyarch's doing, and then put on your engine. I mean, I think Black Ops 7 is the closest thing we've had to Cold War, and you and I loved Cold War.
Mhm.
Um, if they slowed this game down like a bit, it would feel like Cold War. But you know, I enjoy Black Ops 7. I enjoy how fast it is. The weapons, competitive. I mean, and like speaking competitive too. They last episode we talked about changing of the meta. The meta did change. I don't remember this happening since like I want to say Black Ops 4.
Mhm.
It's been a long time since the meta actually changed and like a new weapon came in. And I say this right now. Next week they could like GA this, but
Right.
a new weapon coming in and completely replacing one weapon or adding onto it. So the MPC is in, which is a sub, and the Dravik's out, which I'm a
Rest in
fan of.
peace.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's not like people are saying the Dravik's awful and blah blah blah. I think
No,
people are they're just bored of it. The NPC in competitive, it's good. It's just nice to see something new, man. Like
yeah.
this sub is a sub.
No, watching this past weekend, since they started up the major 3 qualifiers, it is that breath of fresh excuse me, breath of fresh air that we were looking for, where we've got new maps in there. We've got the overtime rules fixed for overload, and with the new meta, it's just been much more exciting to watch. And I think it has had, well, I don't think, I know it's had an impact on some of these teams and players that are benefiting from the meta changes and some that aren't compared to others. Um, like, for example, Gentlemates definitely are in a lot better of a situation now compared to what they were last time. I think Envoy has definitely stepped up a bit. So it's good to see that some of these meta changes and just maybe some of the new maps in there have given teams a leg up in certain aspects. Because when you just have the same thing major after major, or just, throughout the competitive life cycle of a game, it's just the same couple of guns and same couple of maps. It does get pretty stale. So it was nice watching it come back now and have a little bit of something extra to be paying attention to. Um, I will say though, I wanted it to help our boys out at the breach. This didn't help us jack shit. Um,
I don't think
it
anything
was.
would have helped us, man.
I don't think anything would have helped us Justin.
Actually, no,
A two-person change. There,
no.
there's
I
one
think,
player, Justin. There's one player who could have
yeah.
done all right.
I think with the meta change, Snoopy would have done. I think this would have benefited Snoopy a ton
I think so too.
with this meta change, based on his playstyle. Because every team that has benefited from this change and like looks better are all teams with really, really fast subs, extremely fast subs.
And he's
And
one
guess
of them.
what? We had one.
Yep.
And again, man, like I feel bad for Purge because he's just getting shit on bad. And I mean, I think it was on the flank. Pat was like, pull up his stats. And again, stats don't show everything, but I didn't realize like how consistently like bad he was actually playing and underperforming. Dude, it was like, yeah, point 0.6, point 0.6, point 0.7. And it just wasn't close. And that has to do something with your confidence at some point, you know? I mean, dude, he's probably playing with Nasty and Spart, and Nasty's been on the team from the beginning with Purge, and he's probably like, man, this guy's like awful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in the back of his head, he's just thinking that. Like he's just trying to buy one, man, like one pop off series. But it's tough because I really do think if they kept Snoopy on the bench or something, this would have been an opportunity, kind of like what Falcons are doing, like trialing. Take Purge out, bench him, put Snoopy in. Again, management is so different there now, but I don't know what's happening. I can't believe they let Snoopy walk, man. I really don't understand that decision after the amount of time and money they've invested into Snoopy. Why would you let him go at like one of the worst possible times? You know, Breach are probably not going to make champs at this point. You have like a pretty good asset where his ceiling is so high. Why not just put him on the bench at this point? Why just let him go? Do the Nasty and Spart hate him that much?
Yeah, and we were saying too that they should have made a two-person change if they were going to make any off rip.
Mhm.
And it's still obvious that that's what they need to do. I mean, Purge has to go. I think that stat that Pat was pointing out, it was like he was, I think, less than a 1 KD over the course of like 6 months or something like that. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, it was unbelievable how bad the stats were. Um, and just shows more about how that team is so fragmented, and not all the players are really performing. And yeah, Snoopy had his problems, no doubt. But it shows too that just getting rid of him and bringing somebody else in his place, I mean, bringing in Afro, who did not really play that well himself either. I know they had to go and play phase like off rip, which is not easy to do. But in both the series that they played, they really just didn't show much of anything. I think when they had played, was it Koi the second time they
Yeah.
played? They
Going.
showed a little bit of life in the S&D, um, but again, very minimal. This team is unfortunately at the point now where, yeah, the champs, hopes are fading pretty quickly here. Um, they absolutely need to go and make more changes. Letting go of Snoopy completely, I think, was a fatal mistake. I think they still should have benched him, but just bench him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, like we were saying with Falcons, they were in a situation where they were trialing other players, then they didn't, and now you can see that that team absolutely needs to change. But I mean, they're in a situation where it's like, okay, they tried some players, they went back, things are still not looking good. They still have that option. Breach, they drop Snoopy completely. He goes off. He's doing really well in his
Yeah.
challenger team, and now people are saying and looking, being like, yeah, probably should keep Snoop, drop Purge, get somebody else in there. But
Mhm.
because of what they've done, they've screwed themselves over. They
Yeah.
can't just go and get him back. And I don't know what the road looks like back for Breach at this point, man.
But people are saying, I mean, they can pick up Snoopy again. But if I was Snoopy and I'm coming back, I'm like, all right, we're renegotiating your contract because you guys made a mistake. I
Oh yeah.
mean, I'm just okay. I'm just saying, like, I think at the amount of time you've invested into Snoopy, I think anybody can look at that team. Even Pat said it. Are you keeping Snoopy or Purge if you're going to make a one person change?
Yeah, you're keeping
Like,
Snoopy
you're
100%.
keeping Snoop, yeah. So that's where I think we're not in the camp. We don't know management, like the coaching staff or anything, but what the heck happened there? Like, I need to know what that decision was. And if it comes out where the decision was Snoop wanted to go back to challengers and he just thought, like it was time for him to like part ways with the team, I'll completely accept that. I get
Yeah.
it. But if it's because management made a decision, I cannot believe that at all. And I think Zuma was saying it. They can go back and get him still. I'm like, yeah, they can.
Hmm.
But how bad does that look from a PR perspective? Of oh yeah, we dropped you, but we made a mistake. We got to get you back. Um, sorry, Purge, you're out, but
I
we need
mean,
Stu.
Dude, for me, screw it. They should. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
they
that's
should.
like,
They
I
should.
mean, they don't have a lot of likeness right now in the league as is.
Yeah,
And, we've got this minor tournament that's coming up. Um, I mean, look, they're gonna get bounced out of this instant. I mean, they're
just we just gotta
playing
hope they don't lose
or
any hams.
yeah, I mean, they're playing to Heretics, I believe. I pulled up the bracket for this.
Mhm.
I think this is correct. It could be kind of off. But I mean, yeah, to your point, like I really just don't see them having any standing with any of these teams. Like, could they beat Cloud9? I suppose, but
They
even still,
better.
I don't really know. I mean, that's where the bar is right now for them. They clearly made a mistake getting rid of Snoopy. For me, I think they need to just eat their words, eat the mistake, say, "Hey, Snoop, we're wrong. We need you. Purge. We gave you too many shots." And try to go from there, and try to salvage whatever they can from this year, because it was it's a very, very bad year for them, no
Mhm.
doubt. And yeah, regarding the organization, who runs it and what's going on regarding management, we have no idea. But um, if they have any sense of that team and what needs to be done, they absolutely need to drop Purge. Whether they pick up Snoopy again, I don't know. If I was running that camp, I would be sending him flowers and chocolates. I would be begging homeboy to come back. Um,
Mhm.
and I would be asking him in nasty, like, what do you do? Or I would maybe just even forget about Snoopy right now and drop Purge and ask nasty, like, what do you want? What do we need
Mhm.
to do here to make this team better?
Yeah, it's man. Eric, if you're listening to this somehow, Snoop, come back. They
I
made a
know.
mistake. On behalf of the breach, they
Yeah.
made a mistake. Um, and it's I literally watched a series and they didn't stand a chance in either of them. Like I think the team of Purge, Snoop, Nasty, and Smart, at least going into some of these matches, I felt some confidence, that
Yep.
they're able to take like a map or two.
Right.
I know Afro's new and, it's not like on him at all, but watching them play phase, it was chalked from the beginning. Like immediately after the first hill, I'm like, yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah, I mean, they
And
got her
then
point clubbed.
yeah, and then the played against Koi, same thing. I mean, they have so much chemistry at this point. These teams have so much chem
Yeah.
and they're playing great together and Boston's just like grasping at all the scraps that they have. Um so I don't know what the future is with Boston at this point. I don't think they're going to make champs because they missed a whole major. Um, they need a rebuild. They have to do something.
Yeah.
And I just hope it's not. I mean, I feel bad for Nasty. He's in like a really shitty situation. But I hope he's not like, man, I just give up.
Yeah.
You got
Uh, I don't
you got
know.
two majors left. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot left.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna make the most of it, I'm sure, on an individual level if he's just
Mhm.
gonna be playing for the stats. Because for me, he's still, a hot commodity
Yeah.
going into next year, um, and obviously looking at his teammates and what they're doing right now without him, I'm sure it's just a very difficult situation all around for him to be in, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll talk next episode about, the results of this minor tournament and how they go. Because I think hopefully this is the last time that we see this team the way they are. I think you ask me, they need to immediately change course. That should have been a major warning sign that they're already 0-2 and that we'll place money on it if we need to, that they're probably going to get, double first rounded. I mean, I don't think they're going to win anything in this minor.
Mhm.
They need to realize that they just can't keep on going the way they are. They've got to make changes, which is hard, but if you're going to want to have any success in this league, you have to do that, you
Yeah.
know.
And this situation dropping Snoopy just reminds me of a little bit of Ravens getting rid of Nero.
Yep.
And in this game, you need firepower.
Mhm.
Snoop provides firepower. Nero provides firepower. Lurks is disgusting on that
Yeah.
team. They got rid of Nero. Nero sides with Surge. Guess what? Surge beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
Nero like fried. And
Mhm.
again, you look at Nero's been very inconsistent, like Snoopy, but their ceilings are so high. And we've seen those takeover games by Nero. And when he takes over, like he's frying everyone. And same with Snoop. Um, and yeah, I mean, they replaced Nero with Fire. He had like an okay series, like nothing crazy. But yeah, man, I think some of those players that you drop for firepower, it's gonna screw you over.
Yeah, and it clearly did with the meta change that they're on right now, and you know, obviously you can't really foresee this stuff, when the time is happening and they're trying to make all these changes. But I think anybody could have seen that if you're going to drop one of two players regarding Breach, you definitely would have made that move to drop Purge and not Snoop. Um,
Mhm.
and it's proven itself to have happened. That was obviously that would have been the right move to have kept him, but you can't change the past now. And the same thing with
Mhm.
Carolina. I mean, they made those bonehead decisions and now they have to live with it.
Yep.
And you hope that maybe they get someone from challengers, since that's what everybody seems to be kind of holding on for. But I think a lot of these teams need to make changes still. And Breach absolutely is in that camp. I hope they do it sooner rather than later. Because I'm with you. I don't think Breach, if I mean, absolutely, they won't make champs if they continue the way they are right now. They need to make some big moves. And I hope that the management does that because that'll show that they actually give a damn and they
Yeah.
want to try to win instead of just saying like, "Oh, we're too far back. Well, screw it." You know,
Yeah.
that's not going to do anyone good.
Yeah. I mean, I believe the last time I checked, there's like 60 points behind Ravens.
Yeah,
That's a lot, dude.
yeah, it's a lot.
60 points. That's
Yeah,
6 matches that they have to
yeah, yeah.
win. They got to hope that the Ravens lose.
Yeah.
And I mean, they might now because Nero's not on the team.
Yeah. Anything can happen, but I mean, we'll have to hope and pray.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Morrison. I know he doesn't make the calls on the team. I know he's like a co-owner of the team.
Mhm.
Holy, I feel bad for Adam, man.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
must be tough.
that's one job I would not want right now. That's for sure.
No, me neither. But I mean that was our CDL chat. I mean, the big meta change.
Mhm.
It benefited a lot of the fast subs, and it hurt a lot of teams that dropped the fast subs. So, our boys in green don't look good.
Mm, yep.
All the top teams still look like top teams.
Mhm.
If I had to pick a team that it really benefited, I think it really benefit FaZe even more. I know they're, the reigning champs technically, but I think this meta change really helped them with
Yeah.
04 and Simp. So, um, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how this minor is and see where all these teams place. I'd imagine the top teams will stay the top. I'd imagine it's going to be Optic Phase, um, and probably Gentlemates. Thieves are just weird too. I think this change has helped Thieves a bit, but we have to see more.
Yeah, I would agree too. I think what I'm mainly hoping to see from this, I mean, obviously we could choose one of those three that's probably going to end up winning, but I want to see how close the game is now between some of these because it felt like prior Optic was just in a league of their own, then FaZe showed otherwise. Um, and now I want to see if that matchup is still really that close and has
Mhm,
Paris stepped in? Are they now, right along with them? Or do we still have these big skill gaps regarding teams? I'm assuming that the miner is probably going to be able to answer a lot of that. So
mhm.
that's why I look forward to it. So we'll definitely be talking about it and breaking it down in the next episode to see what transpires from it.
Yeah.
No
Last
Boston
thing.
win though. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, man, we
You
hope they
imagine?
win. uh, did you watch the last process, the most recent one?
I did not yet. I plan to
Okay.
watch it tonight, actually.
Well, it's not spoiling it, but there's a scene where obviously we know that Optic loses, and there's a scene where they're recording Dashy, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Get the camera out of my fucking face!" And
Oh,
dude, the camera went down so fast, and I mean, you've seen when Dashy loses, like he'll like move uh,
yeah.
the camera,
Mhm.
and seeing that, I'm like, dude, he cares so much.
Yeah.
The people saying that he doesn't care, Optic, they're taking this win too easy, or this loss not as seriously. I mean, that clip alone, it was maybe a second. The guy put down his camera so fast when Dashy said that. It was so quick.
The only thing I saw was him, I guess when they were walking back after the loss, he went and kicked, like a trash
Yeah,
can or kicked
yeah.
something. Yeah, I just saw that clip on Twitter. I haven't seen anything else from it. I'm excited to watch it. But yeah, dude, of course. I mean, those guys, for anybody to doubt how dedicated they are to it,
Mhm,
I mean, all of those guys are. You have to be. If you're gonna be like him, where he's a two-time world champion and is playing at the level that he is,
mhm,
you have to be obsessed. You have to be so passionate and so dedicated to the game. So
mhm.
it doesn't surprise me hearing stuff like that. But people misconstrued his laid backness,
Just laid
chill.
back,
He's like,
yeah,
he's high all the time. It's like, oh, he
yeah.
doesn't care. He's just making a bunch of money, milking Optic, you know. I mean, man, people can spin whatever narrative
Mhm.
they want to, but every time you see him out there, when we saw him on land, when he's walking out, I mean, dude, that's everything to those guys.
Yeah, he's trying to leave a legacy behind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's trying to win everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you see him in videos and he's just so chill. But then those moments, like when this is his job. When
Yeah.
he's doing his job and being a true competitor, and you see that, like he takes it so seriously.
Yeah. When
Uh,
it's go time for him.
exactly. Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen the process, highly recommend it. It's
Yeah.
always good. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered everything in terms of Call of Duty movie,
Mhm.
CDL, all that jazz. And we even reminisced of old times video
Yes,
games.
which I'm sure many people can, agree with us on that stuff, hopefully feeling the same way, It's good to look back sometimes on what we used to have.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let us know down below in the comments if you think this Call of Duty movie is actually going to help the Call of Duty scene, or if it's just going to be another revenue stream or joke
Mhm.
for Call of
Yes.
Duty. Hopefully neither, but but yeah, if what was I gonna say? Make
It's
sure
this it's Dustin, it's hitting both of us
it's hitting
now.
us. Yeah, I know I'm hungry, dude. I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Eating dinner after this.
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, like I said, leave a comment down below about the Call of Duty movie. We're also on anchor.fm/the COD Casuals, where we're on all streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Uh, what else? All that. We're also that's chop. We're also on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, we chop it up and post it over there. And make sure to leave a 5-star rating because it does help us out a ton. And follow us on Spotify because it helps us out. And I've seen where we've passed the 580 mark. We're
Mm,
almost at 600 followers.
help
And
us
I
get there.
know way more, like
Yes.
well over 1,000 you guys listen every single week. So definitely hit the follow button.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I said, 5-star rating. And I didn't shout it out yet. Hopefully you guys are still here. Discord. Go join the Discord. Because we're in there talking about the matches like every
Mhm.
single week. And just other stuff too. So definitely go check it out.
Mhm.
I think that's it.
That's it, man.
Yeah. So thank you everyone. This has been episode 271 of the COD Casuals. We're your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.